Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our town council meeting. Tonight is March 9th, 2023, 7 p.m. We are conducting a public hearing for the purpose of reviewing the town manager's proposed budget for fiscal year 2024. Are we going to have a presentation tonight, Michael, from you and Steve? Okay.
I think we'll,
Okay.
We'll keep the same order we did Monday and have Steve kick us off, and then I'll...
Okay. All right, so we're going to be hearing from our superintendent of schools, LePage, followed by our town manager, and after that, we'll take any public comment from everybody from the school. So we'll begin. Thank you.
Okay, so I was pretty brief the other night. This is less than half of that, so it'll be very quick. Just to recap, because I know you already heard it. So thank you for the opportunity to speak again. Just outline the budget as presented the other night. I won't try to, well, I guess I will try to read the numbers from here. I brought my laptop last time up here, but so as you know, the Board of Education's budget that was adopted was a 4.75% budget, which included the insurance and all the, the other increases. The insurance was a big driver of that. And as discussed, the insurance has come down that the town council can take advantage of in further deliberations. The increase to the budget, including the previous health insurance estimate, was $1.963 million, or 4.75%, for a total budget of $43,271,797. I won't go through all of these details. You've seen them before, but as you know, we are a people organization with hundreds of staff members who make our complex organization run to meet all of the needs of our students. There are 5 different collective bargaining groups. The largest one is the teachers group, which we renegotiated this year during a very difficult time for negotiating on the management side, I should say. But we had successful negotiations with all our collective bargaining groups, and these are where the contractual obligations lie. It's slightly less than the 4.29 because that does include the 10% insurance estimate at the time, so it's still in the low 4% when you just look at all of our contractual obligations. That's what that slide's all about. This is just a new insurance rate that came out at 7.1%. Just came out a few days ago, or on February 24th. So that will allow the council to decrease the budget by $182,107, which would, if it was part of the approved budget, it's the same. We're asking for the same things. It's just the cost of those things went down. It would have been a 4.31%, but the budget already was adopted by the Board of Ed, which we appreciate unanimously at our February 13th board meeting. This is just showing you where the contracts came in. We did bargain as we are required to by collective bargaining laws, and it was an extensive process, and this is where we came out among the about 31 other contracts that are shown up there. The average was all over 11%, and the dark blue is us, and I talked about that the other night, so I won't recap all of that. As for the summary, we're proud of what our school system does. As you know, we do many great things. Actually, right now, I think everybody who's going to be here for public comments at the townwide chorus concert at the high school, we have over 400 students singing in the Wood Gymnasium with some new technology and acoustic shells that were purchased through ESSER grants. So I am pretty sure that the entire Wood Gymnasium is packed with people right now, and it started at 7 to 7:45. So I'm sorry I'm missing it, but this is much more exciting for all of us.
Oh,
I'm sure it's going to go great. And that's where some of our board members are, so they asked me to excuse them tonight. They have children who are performing, and they'll be here for the next steps as needed. So I won't read this all again to you, but we're just very proud of what we do in our district, living our vision, making sure that our vision, mission, and our goals come to life in everything that we do. All our budgeting is aligned to that intention. We did make some reductions to our administrative lines of about $73,000 in the process. We answered 14 pages of questions and answers with the Board of Education. They gave it a very thorough review before it was finally approved after 4 board meetings. So we're proud of what we're presenting to you as a reasonable budget, considering all the increases in costs for everything. including labor especially, but also supplies and materials and energy and everything else. Coming in where we did, we believe it's an aggressive budget with some risk, but we believe we can make it work. We do still have the ESSER cushion with some funding there to offset any unexpected expenses that we're able to mitigate. So it's nice to have that. We won't have it after this coming year, this budget year. So we're obviously working really carefully to step back so we're not jumping off a fiscal cliff. We're stepping down slowly over the course of the next year. This is just the summary of all the different budgets that were proposed by superintendents in the area around the state that came in from CASBO back in January. There were more since then, but this is just a snapshot of, where we ended up compared to some of the others in the state. And some of the low ones have their alliance districts for, performance concerns, and they're under the watchful eye of the state. They get a lot of extra resources to help them improve scores. But we don't want to be in that. We don't want to be in that category. So, when you're looking at the other districts, we are in a very good place as far as being reasonable with our budget. And this is just the summary slide again that you already saw. I won't read it to you, but I appreciate all the thorough review. I know we're going to have our workshop next Wednesday, and there'll be lots of questions, and hopefully I can give you all the answers then or in the near future after then if I don't have them right on hand at that point. But I know this is just you have a lot of budget workshops coming up over the next week, so you'll be living here probably. So thank you. I don't know if there's any questions before I sit down, or that's all I have for you
Do you have any
tonight.
questions yet for the superintendent? Too early? Okay, thank you very much again.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Yes. Your stuff. Yeah, down there. Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Paulus, Town Manager, and I'm going to follow Steve's act, or at least try to, and fill you in on presentation here from the town side. Again, as I said on Monday, I'm going to recap most of Monday's presentation here. These are our challenges. It's been a difficult process to get where we are already, and some of the things I've outlined here. Inflation, one of the biggest issues we face with the economic headwinds and the cost of doing business that we just don't escape. None of us do. So it impacts municipalities just as it does everyone else. Our state budget approval process comes after our budget. So the state legislature could possibly make some changes that would benefit us, could be positive or negative. May get better, may get worse. We just don't know. So we do the best we can with the information we have coming out of the Capitol and plug those numbers in to the best of our abilities, hoping that they will hold, and typically they do, plus or minus. Sometimes you do have some abnormalities in terms of the budget process, but we hope that what they've transmitted to us and what we have in there holds true, and hope for the best that maybe it improves, the environment improves, and the financial picture improves for us. Obviously, hiring employees and retention. We've had a lot of turnover. It is a very competitive labor market out there right now. So we are finding that year over year from the budgets in adding new personnel, we've gone significantly higher than previously with respect to salary ranges. Next, going into the totality of the budget, we're talking about $68,782,808. That's an increase of $3,097,588, or a 4.72% increase in totality with both Board of Education and town. That's everything. This recommended budget, as proposed, would increase the mill rate by 1.72 mils, or 5.61%. And obviously, in the last 3 years, the trend has been flat and decreased, as you can see. And overall, the 6-year average has been negative. So I think there's always been a mindset to do the best we can in terms of holding the line. Obviously, this breaks through, and there's a lot of work left to do. The 24 budget, go to the next slide here. Board of Ed operating is up by 1.963, as the superintendent said, 4.75%. On the town side, we're up $1,067,438 for a total of 5.35%. Our capital projects are up 67,150, and again, that's because typically the number's been 7,000. So moving that slightly in the direction of funding more of the capital with tax dollars. Debt service remains unchanged. So we're looking at $3,097,588 or 4.72%. That's the ball game there. And look at the pie chart here, how that breaks down. Board of Education, 62.91%. Which is $43,271,797 as reported by the superintendent. And our town government is $21,005,661, debt service of $4.4 million, and capital of, as I mentioned, $75,000. This is a expenditure increases, a 12-year historical review here. And you see the last 2 years have sort of been the outliers, I guess. If you look at this as an average increase over the 12 years of just 2.33%. And again, I think just look at sort of the post-COVID world we live in, and inflation and all that we've been through. This, I don't think I'm saying anything new, that we recognize what's going on in the economics of what's transpiring in terms of goods and services. So again, we don't escape that, and it's now coming home to roost. Next slide is the inflation rate. As I mentioned, last year, 7%. This year, 6.4%. So we're running under inflation with respect to expenditures. And if you look at that, the 6-year average of 2.68 and our expenditure increase average of 2.27. On the general government side, the breakdown by function, we have 129,000 or 4.89% in general government. Public safety is 246,727 or 4.43%. Our public works at 116,867, 2.57%. Health and Human Services up 95,910 for 5.01%. Civic and Cultural up slightly, 7,267. Employee fringe benefits, 471,070. So there's our total. Again, back to the municipal side of $1,067,438, or 5.35%. That's how it breaks down for us. But I do want to show you this slide as well, the major drivers. Payroll for any organization. Again, we're people service-oriented organization, and payroll drives that. Payroll, fringe benefits, and again, this year, police retirement, pension, major increase there. So if you look at those top 3 lines in total, just those top 3 alone represent 3/4 of the increase at $772,000 between health insurance, payroll, salaries, and police pension retirement. We have other categories there that also, in terms of contractual maintenance contracts, we're seeing gas, diesel, heating fuel, electricity, all of it going up. Here's one bright spot with the grand list that I'd like to throw in. Grand list growth reported at 2.19%, and that translates to a $1.1 million increase in net revenue, which helps close the gap on our increase, but not enough. Always wish for more, but even though I'd still say anything over 2% is great grand list growth, and that does help. That's a great indicator, and hope that we can continue our organic growth and continue to see the numbers at that level. It helps slow things down. It helps close the gap. Our fund balance is another tool that can be used, but look at the trend here. This current fiscal year, the use of 1.4 million in fund balance, and I'm recommending a rollback to 600,000 as the previous year, and again looking to kind of keep sort of rein in, if you will, the fund balance if possible. I don't know. That's one of those things we're going to have to wrestle with, but it's there. It's a tool, and we'll take a look at it. Our estimated direct revenue charges, as I mentioned, the grand list up 1.1 million. Great help. Fines and fees, 32,750. License and permits, 25,000. Other categories there, revenues offset by 20,000. Intergovernmental down, and the transfers out also. So we only have, with that calculation, 201,925 to address with direct revenue changes. So when you look at next slide, if you look at the next, look at what we're proposing here in debt service. Again, 23 million of outstanding. That breaks down with 11 million for the general town government and Board of Education at 12.6. We have debt service, use of debt service, I'm indicating 500,000, which will leave another 549 for use, if that's what the council desires. Capital expenditures, 1,954,625. That is down from last year's, the current fiscal year of 2.2 million. So $307,725 decrease in capital expenditures overall from last year. And the breakdown in terms of general fund, 75,000. Use of CIP at 225, debt management at 500,000, unassigned fund balance of 574, and state Connecticut grants 579, essentially rounding out. So where are those funds going? Just kind of recap the use of those in Norton Park tennis courts. We've got sidewalk repair, replacement, ongoing program there. We've got Board of Education Chromebooks, recreation building roof, police building improvements, Goosetown radio system, and as I mentioned to the council Monday, that's another area we'll take a look at. That's a classification issue in terms of whether or not that is a true maintenance cost or capital cost, and we could move that either way. But we'll have that discussion as we get into the deliberations next week. We have laptops. We have the assessor's revaluation software, and then the remaining 30 projects that total 796,000 spread out across various departments. So that is the capital at 1.9 million. So we have the expenditures of almost 3.1 million with estimated revenue offset of 201. So the budget summary here, that's the number we're targeting and tackling is the 2,895,663. That's what we're wrestling with in terms of funding that. So that's our gap, and that's where we're left with, and that's our starting point. Okay, that's all I've got.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Does anybody have any questions for Michael from the council? I know you've seen this before, so you're all set. Thank you very much for your
Thank you.
presentation. Okay, thanks both to Superintendent LePage and Town Manager Hollis for presenting tonight to give the first look at our proposed budget that the Town Council is going to be working on beginning Monday of next week, and we'll be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And we do have some open dates in the subsequent week if we need more time to keep working on this. So we will be diligently at task. Our work sessions, of course, are open to the public. They'll be in this room, and they begin at 6:30 p.m. The public can come and listen. They cannot participate or ask questions, but we certainly welcome everybody that wants to come and find out how we do this job, which is certainly challenging this year, but every year is a challenge, and we manage to do what we have to do. So thank you both for your hard work and your staff who helps you put this all together. At this time, I will open the public hearing to anybody that wishes to speak to the Town Council. Please come to the podium here, state your name and address, and we'll be ready to go. So does anybody wish to speak to the council? Anybody wish to speak? Roberta?
Roberta Loria, 18 Perrin Road. Through you, Madam Chair, I just have a couple questions to our town manager regarding some of the numbers he had, if you don't mind. One of them was the employee fringe benefits. Was that all pensions?
It's a combination of different items, not all of it, but I think the police side pension is the driver this year.
Okay. What other things are added to that?
We've got a number of
Because I know you had health benefits and separate.
Well, yeah, health is built in there, and that was a major driver as well. We will have an opportunity. Well, we've taken out our side of the adjustment that came in, and there's an adjustment that'll be made because the Board of Ed had already approved their budget, but there were significant numbers there. So we had about 67,000 that we've already adjusted at this point. That's already figured in there.
Okay. Now, for the pension, the police pension, is the 271 that you had there, was that for the those that have retired, or is that putting into the system for those that are here?
That's to accommodate for changes in the plan that happened and to adjust, to cost out those changes that were made.
Okay.
That's the issue.
Okay. And you talked about payroll. Was there an increase in the employees that have been brought in to the town?
Yeah, there have been new faces. I mean, obviously, the two of us sitting here in terms.
No, I'm talking about the number.
The number? Oh, no new positions. I said no to any new positions, and we've probably, I think there's at least one, if not two, unfilled positions as well.
Okay.
So there are no new positions in here. Mm-hmm. But I was, referring to the fact that, individuals coming in like myself and Andy and other professionals that have come in above what was currently budgeted in the current fiscal year.
Okay. Did you have to reevaluate due to the inflation and things that have been going on, the payroll in general for this increase, or was it just based on the new folks replacing other folks?
Yeah, new folks replacing other folks, and in some cases, there were decreases in personnel that came in at a level lower, and there are some other places, and so I'm just saying, overall, there were some places that it moved up higher, and some places it came down. But across the board, we're not doing any new positions.
Okay, but you didn't need to reevaluate the positions that are currently there. So nothing based on, because I know you talked about folks, other towns in comparison in the competitiveness
Yeah.
of the positions that you are trying to fill. So does that mean you have been forced to reevaluate the positions you're in, the positions that you're trying to fill in terms of the scales?
Yes, we've reviewed it internally. We have not gone out formally in a formal study, if you will, a salary study. We have not done that part, just more internal evaluation.
Okay, so then the majority of the increase that we've got for that payroll was a direct result of folks coming in. No reevaluation in terms of the employees that we currently have.
No, right.
Okay.
But it does, what's driving us is just I think factored in a 3% increase in terms of salaries
Okay, and that was across the board.
across the board.
Great, okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Does anybody else wish to speak to the council? Anybody else? Last chance. Okay. Thank you for your comment, Roberta. And if there are no other folks that wish to speak to the council tonight, I will close the public hearing. Thank you for coming tonight, and I will ask the council for a motion to adjourn, please.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. We're adjourned. Thank you very much.